In 2020, I was 15-year-old and my best friend was 16-year-old. This was the year that COVID-19 broke out. And I remember how one of those days in 2020, my best friend suggested that we should sell one of my mom's car tires and use it to make money because we really wanted to make money. We were asking ourselves the question, how can we make money? And we've been asking ourselves that question, days before that day. Like, this was a question that we had been asking ourselves. And if you've been asking yourself that same question, how can I make money, then you need to really sit down and watch this video to the end. It doesn't matter whether you are 14, 12 years, 15, 16, 18, 20 something, or even 30 something. This video is for you, and you really need to watch to the end so that you do not miss out on any gist. It was at my place because we usually go to each other's place. I could travel to his place, and then some other times too we would travel down to my place and then spend some weeks, some days or some weeks at my place before he goes back to his own house. So it was at my place at this time during that COVID-19 period. We were in SS3 in secondary school. I think in some countries that is called high school, right? So we were in high school, we were in secondary school, we were in SS3, and that was the year we were to write our final exams in secondary school. But then COVID-19 delayed everything, and so that was why it was at my place at that time. Now, what could make a 15-year-old or a 16-year-old to suggest, even though it was a joke, right, to suggest selling one of my mom's car tires just so we could make money? You need to understand that as much as it was a joke, it was also a reflection of something deeper, of a deeper hunger, and that hunger was to make money. See, we were comfortable. Let me just say this. Myself, I was comfortable, right? I'm still comfortable. When I say comfortable in this sense, my parents are really amazing people, right? My parents have always been trying their best. I went to one of like the best boarding schools, one of the best secondary schools around my place. Even though I won't say we are rich, but then we were comfortable. Like, I personally had all my needs met, and I can say the same for my best friend too. So it wasn't like it wasn't like we were suffering. We were not suffering. We were eating well. We were in one of like the best schools around the area. In fact, myself and my best friend, we met in my secondary school, right? I think GS2 or so. I think it's called maybe basic 12 or basic 11 in some countries. I'm saying this because of some of you that are watching from another country, right? But then yeah, it's called I think it was in GS2 or GS1 that we met, and so we met in like the same boarding school, and we were doing well, right? So it wasn't a desire that came from suffering. No, it wasn't like we were suffering. It was just a desire that came from a place of dissatisfaction. I think I should put it that way. So we were not satisfied. Our parents, they were trying their best. They are still trying their best, right? And but then that desire to want to make money was not really. It wasn't desperation to make money. It was just the fact that we were no longer comfortable with always disturbing our parents, especially for our wants, right? When I say wants now, okay, I want to buy a recharge card, because then what else do I do um with my phone? Other than then I didn't even really have a phone per se, but then I think a used phone that was managing, and I think so, right? And so I needed recharge card to buy data, and then I would need like all of those 100 naira recharge card, and I would usually have to disturb my mom, disturb my dad, especially my mom, right? Oh, mommy, please come and give me 100 naira to buy recharge card. And it was just interesting. But then I was dissatisfied with the fact that I always had to ask my mom if, or my siblings or my parents, if I needed to get something, like especially something that is not in need, right? I understand that food was always available, right? Because it was provided by them. I understand that my school fees too. I mean, there was no issues, right? I understand that my clothes, right? I mean, at least the clothes I wear, right? I was not lacking clothes. So the basic needs, the basic necessities, the food, shelter, and clothing, they were available. But then I wanted something more. Like I didn't want to have to call them or disturb them before I could get like my basic, at least my basic wants, right? If I needed to get a charge card, if I needed to spend money, like I wanted to make money. And so that led me to asking the question, how can I make money at the age of 15, right? And thinking about it now, there was no really anyone around my age as at that time that I know that was really making money. So now I'm even thinking that, where did that come from? Like, where did that desire come from, right? But I think it just came from the fact that I was dissatisfied. Like, I was tired of being um dependent, like overly dependent. Like, I could not just say, okay, I want to spend, or I want to buy a recharge card and just spend it from my own money. Like, I needed to find the best strategy I can use to ask for money. And that was tasking. Like, that was so dissatisfying. Like, I did not want to have to disturb my parents for something as little as recharge card. Like, I did not want to have to always disturb them. And so that brought the question, how can I make money? How can we make money? That's myself and my best friend. I mean, I tried Opera News, I tried different things. I mean, legal things, anyways, because even though, I mean, the only available option for us was even legal things. Like, there was no time that we were even considering doing any illegal thing. Like, it did not even come to mind. So when we still wanted to make money, we need that to be legal. And so I I started asking myself the question, and then I think I tried Opera News, right? I mean, if you know Opera News, as of that year, Opera News was like one of the, like, a really top news outlets. And then you could write articles for them, you could write news for them, and then they pay you some money, right? But then we fought rejections like crazy, right? It was a lot. It was draining, because you could write an entire article and then it would be detected. I mean, plagiarism could be detected, and that's the end. Sometimes they would even ban accounts. They would. It was just really draining, right? I mean, the effort was not worth it. But I mean, I just wanted to make money, right? And so I think altogether I made like 5,000 naira from there. I think that was when I really started making money by myself. I enjoyed the freedom in a way that brought the fact that I do not have to always. At least I could use that to buy something for myself. Like, I just knew that I have to make money. As young as I was, I knew that I have to make money. And to be honest, that was how I started making money. The fact that I was dissatisfied with constantly being a liability. If that, I mean, my parents are not going to see me as a liability. My mom, my dad, my siblings, they probably would not see me as a liability, right? They would see me as their responsibility. But then for me, I did not want to be a liability. Like, I did not want to have to. Of course, it's fine for them to like do their responsibility, pay my school fees, all of that. But I think when it start getting to wants, like wanting to buy a particular clothes, wanting to get all of those stuff, I think understanding the fact that we were just comfortable, we are not very rich, we're comfortable. I think I did not want to like put that extra burden on them, right? I mean, because one, if they don't have, they can't give. It's that simple. And so I just wanted that independence, and that was it for me. That was the beginning. That was how I started pushing, right? That was how I started making money. And then I turned 16 that same 2020, and I got into another business, a network marketing business this time around. I think the name was called RAGP, that's Recharge and Get Paid. If you go to online, if you go to Google and you search for Recharge and Get Paid, you most likely see like their story, right? Even though I think now they've crashed or something. And I got into that business. Now, when I got into that business, I was still in necessary because I said COVID-19 delayed us. Eventually schools resumed right later that year, and I got back to school. Meanwhile, before I go back to school, someone had pitched the idea of that business to me, recharge and get paid. It's like a network marketing business. You register under them, and then when you register, you now like refer people. Though I think it's also like it has like a BTU wallet where you can do like transaction, buy recharge card, buy electricity bills, and when you do all of that, you get commission. And then but then the main money, right? The big money comes from referring people. I think when you refer someone to join the basic plan, you get 1,000 or 1,500. I've forgotten the exact amount now. So I was looking to like leverage on that since I'd confirmed that okay, this brand is, I think it was legit, it was legal, right? And so I mean I feel like let me just, since it was legal and it wasn't like what they were doing were okay. Like I mean you could do transactions, then I get commission, you could like buy recharge card, all of that. And I mean it was fast rising, it was really growing then and all of that. So I mean I feel like let me just put some of my classmates on. We were preparing for exams, and so that was like the last time we'll be together. And so I go back to school. I went to a boarding school, and so we go back to school, and I started pitching the idea to some of my classmates. Okay, there's this business, this and this, that if you with this business, if you do transactions, if you buy the charge card, you can even start selling the charge card to people, and then you get commission from the platform and all of that, which we're all true anyways. And so I from there I got some of my classmates, mind you, in SS3, I got some of my classmates who even informed their parents. They were like, okay, don't worry that. I mean, it was 5,000 naira to register then, and so they were like, okay, don't worry that they will register, like that they will register under me and all of that. And so I think I got about two or three. I've forgotten the exact number now, but I think I was able to get some of my. I think I was able to get like maybe 3 to 4 to 5 of my classmates. Then some of my seniors too. I pitched the idea. Like I've always been a good businessman. The thing is, I was dissatisfied, and with the fact that I wasn't making money, I wanted to start making money, and so all of these things were not learned per se. I didn't learn marketing, but then these were just things I was doing because I wanted to make money, right? And I mean, it was a very good opportunity, so why not? So I picked the idea. Eventually, we graduated, and then some of them registered. In fact, some of their parents, like some of them even registered their parents, right? And the way that that business works is that if I register you directly, I get a commission. If you register someone, I get a second level commission. So I get a commission whenever whenever someone joins the business through you. And then even your downline, if your downline registers someone, I still get a commission. When the downline of your downline registers someone, I still get commission. So I mean that was interesting. And so that some of my classmates registered. Now we are graduated from secondary school, and this was 2020 actually. This was still 20, I think around October, November, December, yeah, up to January of 2021, right? And all of this period I was still 16. And so I got them registered, I got commission. I think altogether I think I had like 10,000 naira from the commissions, right? I mean, I had registered to with my own 5,000 anyways to the basic plan, and I think I was working to upgrade or something. So, anyways, that's how I got that commission. I think I got 10,000. This was like I think the first five figures in naira that would be earning by myself. Like that was a lot. Honestly, that was a lot for me, especially as at that time where I didn't have much responsibilities, right? I mean, I had literally everything I want to like live life normally. I mean, but I was still making this money, and so the money was mine. Anyways, in 2021, that was when I now knew about graphic design, right? I mean, there's a whole story on that alone. But then, eventually, my best friend too was in that business I was doing, like that network marketing. He was even the one that introduced me to the guy who who registered me to the business, and because I think the guy had informed him about the business earlier, but he just my best friend also told me about the business, right? I mean, he just connected myself and the guy, and so we were in the business together. Anyways, so I mean, if you pay attention to this very well, you realize that myself and my best friend, we've always been together, we've always been growing together. In early of 2021, he now decided to even take his life a bit more serious than usual. Remember that everything that I'm telling you now came when we started asking the right question. When we started asking ourselves, how can we make money? And we really started looking, okay, how can we make money? This and this and this. And you see, there's a whole lot of story that I have to skip because I don't want this video to get too long. There was a time where we entered into it because my mom, we have like a shop, right, where we sell drugs. And so um um I remember a time where myself and my best friend, we entered into an agreement with my mom because we wanted 1,800 naira that we used to register on the platform. I remember on my birthday too, how myself and my best friend were like, okay, since my birthday we record a video. We actually recorded a video. We actually recorded a video, and then we were like, so we'll record this video and then we'll post it online on my birthday. I think this was like a date to my birthday. We post it online on my birthday. It was a very funny video, and then we just like it would be like a skit. I think it was like a skit, something like that, and it was a very funny video. And then we used that one to solicit for funds because we needed money, like we wanted to make money. Anyways, 2021, I got into design. That was early 2021 with my smartphone, and then in 2020, that same 2021, I took some courses. I mean, in 2022 now, that 2021 I turned 17, right? And then I took some courses. Then I also resumed Uniben. Then I also tried out some other businesses like AfriGold, right? AfriGold, you can just go online and search for AfriGold, like Africa as in from Africa without the last A. Then go just search and you can read their story online. Eventually they crash anyways. Even the RAGP too, the charge and get paid too, they also I think they've crashed now. Anyways, I mean I've forgotten I even but I just dumped it because the business was like a lot. It wasn't like the commission they were giving on the charge and all of that where they were a lot. It was just tiny, like I think some cobos and everything. So it was very, very draining. It was really draining. Like it wasn't a sustainable business. And I think I just left it at some point. Then I got into AfriGo. From AfriGo to I got like some referrals, and then I mean it looked like a very promising business, and I feel like let me share this opportunity. I mean with people, and so from that alone, I think I made like 140,000. Yes. Then I was in Uniben, and then I turned 17. So I was 17 year old as at the time, and then I was in Uniben, and um I think I there was a whole lot of marketing strategy, right? Not a lot, anyways, but then I mean, just like referral, just like pitching the ideas to people and all of that. And I got like it was online, anyways. It was online that I pitched the idea, I organized a class, did all of that. Not a paid class, anyways, but like just like gathering people in a group and then pitching the ideas to them. And then from that alone, I was able to get like 140,000 naira in commission. Um, from that, this was I think around October, September of 2020 one, right? And then eventually I left Uniben, and so I focused on design again. Like, I mean, I never really stopped designing even during this period, right? In fact, some of the money I made from AfriGold, I would invest it back into design. Like, I think I spent some of the money, I used them to buy courses. I bought like I think a smartphone motion course. I think I got like a graphic design course. I mean, I invest this money wisely, right? Even though I was very young, right? I knew that even though I was very young, I knew what I wanted, right? And so I was very intentional. Let me just put it that way. I was very intentional. God was literally guiding me, all of that. And I mean, in 2022 now, right? I mean, I continue my design. I was no longer in school. I was trying to get back to school anyway. I think I was trying to write jump and all of that. And so 2022, I started my YouTube channel. My main YouTube channel that's currently, I think, approaching 15,000 subscribers. I started that in August of on April. Yeah, I started that on April in 2022, and early 2022 I volunteered for some people, right, my design. And so I just took my design a bit more serious. I registered for some courses, and that same 2022. Now let me just say this, that in 2021, late 2021, that's when I made my first six figures online, right? My first six figures online. That's my first 100,000 like 100,000 plus. And that was from Africa, right? And then in early 2022, I had saved some money from the 100,000 plus, the 140 or so that I made from Afrigold in late 2021. I said then I left Uniben. I resumed to Uniben in August, and then I left the school in December after my first semester. So I saved some money, and then I got into 2021, early 2022 rather, early 2022, and then I had to like I could not stay at home because I just left Uniben, and I didn't want questions to start coming from people and say, oh, when are you guys choosing? But like I didn't want those kind of questions, right? Because I cannot start telling people that okay, that I'm no longer in Uniben. Like, how many people do I want to explain to, right? So I traveled down to Ilorin, and then I was in Ilorin. So that period that strike now started. Now, before then, I registered like for I got access to like some resources, right? I got like license to resell some resources for one of my coaches then, one of my design coaches. And so early that year, it gave us access to that, and um it gave us access to the resources, and it also said we could sell the resources, right? I mean, we just had to pay some little amount for him, and then we paid him, and I mean, it gave us access to that. Now I had some money from the savings that I got from Afrigold, right? Some savings that I had from Afrigold, the money I made from Afrigold. And so I invested some of the money in running paid ads, right? Because I wanted to sell the resources. And so I packaged it, I redesigned it, I repackaged it, I created a flyer, right? Because I'm a designer, right? To promote it. And so I promoted it. And from that alone, in 3 weeks, I made over 100,000 naira in early 2022. Now, this was like the second six figures I would be making from social media, from online. And I mean, that was just it. I mean, from that point, everything I just began to grow. I spent some of the money, I invested some of the money in like my design skill, right? I got some courses. Like, I got a lot of courses actually. I paid for courses, I paid for classes. I was learning and learning from that. I mean, I kept selling that too, right? I studied for just 1,000 naira. Like, I think it was 997. I think I studied for 990 before I started increasing the price eventually. So like over 100 people got it in like 3 weeks. Over 100 people paid for it and got it. And then I was also giving some people like license to also get it, right? I mean, even though there was like a process on that, I had to like connect them to the original guy that gave us the resale rights, all of that. And then, but it was just really amazing. And then I made that money, and then I just continued pushing, and in I think August 2022, I got my first PC, and then that same year too, I was able to work for different brands. That year was a lot, especially late of that year. I think I was at the point I was working for like 4 different brands as a graphic designer, like 4 different brands. And so I think I got my first client from Upwork too in that same 2022. I think that was in September of 2022. I got my first client from Upwork. And even though eventually it ghosted me for a very long time, like we could not work for long that year, but I think it's just worthy of note that I got my first client in September. I mean, now I'm top rated on Upwork, and I've made like over $1,000 from Upwork. I mean, this year alone I've made like over $1,000 from Upwork. Even though Upwork just really started really working for me this year, Yeah, but I mean, I got my first client then. That was in 2022, and then I was working for other brands. I was designing for different brands. I think that there was like I was designing for a crypto brand. I was designing for a I think I was designing for a travel brand. Yes, a travel. I think a travel agency. I was designing for a yeah a non an NGO, right? I was designing for like I was just there were just different brands I was working with, right? My schedule was really crazy. Then moving on from that into 2023, I mean, then I kept getting clients. I mean, I'd been getting design clients from 2021 anyways. I got my first design client I think about 1 month after I started designing. So it wasn't really like I struggled with getting clients like that. But I mean, I really started working with brands in 2022. Then I also started building my presence on LinkedIn in 2022. Right, I started building my personal brand on LinkedIn in 2022, and in 2023, 2024 went, and then this 2025, and then we are growing. Now, everything started from asking the question, how can I make money at 15? At 15. And at 16, I really started making money. At 17, I made my first 6 figures, right? My at yeah, at 17, at 18, I think I could say I make my first 7 figures in era. I think I made my first 7 figures, and it wasn't like in a month anyways, it was like cumulatively. I think that year cumulatively, I think I made like I think I checked my bank statement and I was shocked. I was legit shocked. And um I think my best friend and I later in the year, yeah, we were comparing, not comparing per se, but we're like, okay, show me your bank statement, your year bank statement. Let me show you my, and then we look at it, and then it was crazy. It was really crazy, and that was just it. And this I turned 21 this year, and you got to stay up. That has just been a really amazing journey. And you see, one thing that this brings me to say is that when it comes to making money, um, the first thing is to ask the right questions. Honestly, at 15, I was asking the question, how can I make money? 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 And I wasn't just asking the question, I was also around the right people. So my best friend was like the right people in this case. It was like the right person. Because I got into design. I think I was at his place. Now remember that when he jokingly suggested that I should sell my Moscow tire, it was at my place. Right, and so, but then when I got into design, I was at his place. So that was how we used to go over to each other's places during breaks, during school breaks, maybe like holidays, midterms, and all of that. So I was at this place as at this time, even though we had graduated. But then I traveled to his place, and it was while I was at his place that I started my design journey. Even though I had antagonized him before then, prior to that time, a couple of times, but then that was how I started my design journey at this place. So you could see how our journey has always been together. So you need to actually find the right person, ask the right question. You need to find the right person, and you need to also understand that when it comes to making money, it is a function of how much value you can give. I would really say I really started making money sustainably when I learned a skill. So I made money from RGP, right, through referral based. I make money from AfriGold, my first 7 figures online, and then I made money from selling, right, from selling my design resources. I made another 6 figures from that in errors. And so I think I made like over 100K from that, right? In total, like I think I've up to now, because people are still getting it right from seller, people are still getting to the product, right? And then I also like was doing training, right? I coach people, I coach people to design, right? I train people, I train designers, and so also that is there. And then I built like a large audience online, right? And so I also like take influencer marketing gigs. I take influencing gigs and all of that. And so I mean, that was how my income sources just grew. My income grew, and then I'm at a place now where I'm still growing, right? I'm still growing. And so when it comes to making money, you need to think of how much value you can give, because people will only pay you when they are sure that they will get value from you. And so I recommend to every young person that you should learn a skill, right? Because that is one thing that can really guarantee that you make money sustainably. But do not just learn a skill, also learn the business of that skill. Ensure that you still subscribe to this channel. I have like a lot of videos that will be coming that are going to guide you, right? And that, I mean, this is just a video where I'm just sharing my story, but then I mean, you could even watch like I've made past videos on this channel where I share some of the things that will really help you when it comes to making money, and I think on my other channel too. So you can just check the description box of this video to like catch up on all of those. But um also stay subscribed and also turn on that notification bell, because like I also have like other videos coming in that are really going to inspire you and also help you, right, to at least start making money, right, or at least increase your income. Let me know if this video helps you in the comments. I would love to read from you, and then I will see you in the next one.